This is my section. Earth is under my protection. Under the birth is Gallifrey. I've got 2 hearts, your life is safe. Run into the master, raw Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not Rick. 12 bodies and men. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else. Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's up, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, mustache. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride, it's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space, oh what's that? Exterminate. Cyberman, a TARDIS baby. Would you like a jelly baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go, a new adventure, Geronimo! I am fantastic, so are you, best come with me, I'm Doctor Who. Welcome to a brand new episode of D4WH. As always, I am one of your hosts. I'm Adam O'Sullivan. Joining me as always is our other host, Nicchia and Adam.
Hello Adam, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm really good, and I'm very excited to be doing a little bit of reviewing of my favourite Doctor.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, did I mention that I really like
Once
Matt
or twice.
Smith? Yeah. 11th Doctor. I do actually have a multiple choice question for our guests later.
Which is your favourite Doctor?
Yes, that will be the quiz, and there are only a few answers.
I bet they're all Matt Smith.
Jeez, you always give away the ending.
Today we have 2 special guests. You may already know them collectively as the hosts of the irreverent podcast Sharkx.
Yay!
Please welcome Claire.
Hello.
And Simone.
Yeah, I already spoke. Sorry about that.
Oh, you already exist in this continuity already.
I'm everywhere.
You went backwards in time and put yourself already in your own timeline.
If they could hybrid a time-travelling shark with a wormhole...
You're in.
All right, Claire, do you want to go through your history with Doctor Who?
I knew it existed,
Okay.
but I never watched it. I did have some friends and they would talk about Torchwood as well. I just didn't get into it. I don't really have like a hard excuse why. I never watched Star Wars, Star Trek,
so you're not into
so sci-fi is not
sci-fi.
your thing.
Sci-fi, not really.
What are you more into other than sharks?
Sharks.
Just sharks.
Just sharks. And Simone.
Okay, and Simone, your history with Doctor Who?
I actually do have a history with Doctor Who. But I have one loyalty and one loyalty only.
Oh.
Is it Alan Baker, the curly-haired guy with the scarf?
Tom Baker.
Whatever. That
So
guy.
loyal to him, you don't know his name.
That's as loyal as I get, Adam.
I know, I've spoken to her baby father, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby daddy. He doesn't even have a name, so there you go. I remember getting my first nightmares from like a Triffid-based episode where they were in like an old English mansion.
Was that the Seeds of Doom where the plants were taking
Yep.
over? Yes.
I remember K9 and the Daleks. The Daleks were always laughable.
Yeah.
Who was his assistant? Penny, Polly,
No, he had Sarah Jane with Seeds of Doom. Layla?
Layla. I think that was the one I wanted to be.
Or Leela. Sorry, I'm doing my doing a crossover of Star Wars.
No, I was going to say, I love that Eric Clapton song where he sings about that companion Layla. Layla, get in the TARDIS with me, Layla.
So yeah, I absolutely loved it. I took it really seriously. Like it was almost like a documentary.
Oh, I can't wait to meet these plants that everyone keeps talking about.
Oh, space travel. But then I dropped out when they stopped putting it on in the afternoons.
You haven't watched anything since?
I did last night.
And she wrote 3 pages of notes.
Oh,
I
fantastic.
have opinions.
Oh my God.
So, before we get into the episode proper, let's talk about Doctor Who news. Today's piece of Doctor Who news actually concerns Australia Day, but will be put out after January 26th. The current and problematic date of Australia Day. Mm-hmm. Let's not shy away from that.
Good, I was about to object, but you did it.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that's, yeah, but we're not here to talk about the day. The Yass Valley is an area of the southern tablelands that's just over 10 times bigger than Sheffield in size, but with only about 3% of Sheffield's population. The area is known for food and wine, and every year they announce a Yass Valley Australia Day ambassador to host their event. This year's Yass Valley Australia Day ambassador, try saying that 3 times fast, is none other than Jim Jar.
What?
Sorry, Tim Shaw.
Tim Shaw.
I'm of course referring to the journalist and radio TV presenter most well known in Australia as the face of the Demtel infomercials of the early 90s, instead of the Stenza alien that came up against Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor.
Of course.
The real Tim Shaw was known for his catchphrase, "But wait, there's more," and offering free steak knives as people called to order immediately.
There was always a set of steak knives. He did infomercials.
Yeah, so he used to sell crap. But he became famous because he had, like, the way he did it was really enthusiastic, and he'd go, "But wait, there's more,"
Yeah.
all the time.
He was very
did you
excited.
have a similar equivalent back in Ireland?
No.
Okay, fantastic.
Doesn't
Not gonna
anyone
talk to
do
Claire anymore.
info commercials? looks
They don't have an
terrified.
economy.
Buy this potato, but wait, there's more. There's no more.
No,
We're too busy taking over the world and slowly infiltrating different countries. And it's like,
Sure, let's say that, shall we? I wonder if Tim Shaw's recent upsurge in popularity has anything to do with a similarly named character from Doctor Who.
I think so, particularly apparently on Whovians, he was a guest.
Yes, that's right. I love that bit in the last episode of the season where Tim Shaw goes, I will kill you, Doctor, but wait, there's more. Would you like some freeze steak knives with your death?
A set of teeth.
All right, our episode today is A Christmas Carol, the 2010 Christmas special, written by Stephen Moffat and directed by Toby Haynes. Originally aired on the BBC on Saturday, December 25th, 2010. Now, before we start, Christmas Carol is also the first episode worked on by the production designer Michael Pickwood, who continued to work with the series until Capaldi's final episode, Twice Upon a Time. He unfortunately passed away in August 2018.
Oh, really?
At the age
that's
of
sad.
73.
sad.
Yeah.
Death is inevitable, everyone.
Yeah, I know, but 73 seems too young. Or as I close in on those ages, they all get younger and younger.
And he was working with the series up until last year.
And he
So-
was a set designer, so I bet he lived hard.
Quick synopsis. The Doctor's companions Amy and Rory are stuck on a space liner with more than 4,000 passengers that is headed for a catastrophic crash landing. Their only hope are the electrified clouds that cover the planet, which are controlled by Kazran Sardik, a bitter businessman only interested in wealth. The Doctor must use the TARDIS to change Kazran's timeline so that he will help the space liner. But will a broken heart make Sardik more or less likely to do the right thing?
So, taken from, obviously, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
And we know that the Doctor loves Charles Dickens. He met him in a previous episode.
He did.
It's interesting that the Doctor is constantly like, we can't change someone's timeline.
That's
Hey.
all they do in this one.
Yeah, now this episode, it's like, you know what? It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't understand a lot of it.
Oh,
Just
really?
going to be honest. I watched it. I paid attention to the sharks, and I didn't take any notes at the end. There was a lot of shouting and disorganisation, and there was a lot of information. No, there wasn't a lot of information. There was like, you have to help us. Why? The Earth. There was clouds. Oh my God, people are dying. I'm in a different outfit. Why are you in a different outfit? Laughing. Oh no, there's a phone. He's on Earth. I'm back. There's people, but I can't see them. What's happening? There's a...
I don't know why I did a synopsis when I asked you to...
Can you explain
through,
cricket
yeah.
now?
Specific to the shark, Claire, what were your thoughts on use of shark movement, shark behaviour and shark sound?
Say the first one again for me, Simone.
What were your thoughts on, like, the use of the shark?
Okay, the use of the shark, I liked when you could just see the fin to start when it went by in the black. I thought that was good momentum drawing. I enjoyed that. When I got to actually seeing the shark, very disappointed.
Oh, really?
Very disappointed,
Why?
yes. He was made as a villain, all teeth, not realistic. Why was he eating a small fish? That's not his prey. Yes. And why was he grunting? Sharks don't make noise. Oh my God, all the time.
But you don't know what sky sharks do.
Yeah.
It was a very land sound, though. It was a very dry sound.
It gave me a lot of anger when
Oh,
I saw that.
no.
And
Oh,
why-
you didn't like the representation of sharks in this. You thought that...
All women, but we'll get to that.
Oh my.
And why did
Oh,
they
yeah, I
decide
suppose,
that
yeah.
the ending, the happy ending, was like putting a poor shark in a sleigh and making him drag it around non-consensually all the time? There was rope. He had to be steered. There was probably a whip somewhere.
I think it was
he
a
didn't
she.
want to
The
do
shark
it.
was a woman, I'm
The
pretty
shark
sure.
was a woman.
Yeah, the
Why
shark
did
was
she?
a woman,
Why
even though
did
its
she-
nickname was Clyde.
Oh, it
Yeah.
had a name?
It had a nickname. They called it Clyde.
Oh, right.
Clyde and Percy were the two sharks.
But you didn't think that the shark came down willingly? It wasn't being forced down. It was just being called.
Called by a piece of robotic technology in its stomach,
Which it ate.
forcing it down.
It was tricked, Adam. You know those dogs that you have the whistle and it's a sound that really irritates them? How do we know that the shark wasn't being lured against his will down?
Have you ever done horse riding?
No.
I have.
Ooh. Oh, there you go.
Evil.
The same thing with a
Evil.
shark.
No, well, I got thrown off multiple times. I got the message.
Okay, all right.
Get off. Get off. Oh, well, we're very sorry that you feel that the shark was not treated the way that a shark should
But
be.
sometimes it's important in representation. You know, we're not saying that Doctor Who did the wrong thing. Like, they were showing what the inappropriate use of shark looks like.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. And that's probably the point they were trying to make, I
doubt
think.
it.
No, I doubt it.
Shit, I tried to save them there. Yeah, no, they're actually anti-shark, I think. think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Doctor Who, yeah.
What does anti-shark mean?
Well, they just don't like them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've had enough.
No, we like them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was that brief period of about 6 months where the theme song would go dun 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 shark suck dun dun dun.
Yeah,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
and you
dun,
know,
dun,
it
dun,
was
shark
subtle, but I
suck,
picked
dun,
it
dun,
up.
dun.
I picked it up.
In defence of Doctor Who, all of the characters were very two-dimensional, so it wasn't just the shark.
True.
I mean, I'll give them that. I think the shark served a purpose, which was as an antagonist in partnership, but then it sort of flipped. At least the shark had some kind of character growth.
Yeah.
Yes, and the shark liked music, liked the
Yeah.
singing.
And the boy did like the shark. He didn't want it to die.
And well done, Doctor Who, because I turned on the shark when it liked the singing, because the singing was fucked.
She's quite
You don't like
famous,
opera? You don't like
actually.
opera singing?
I don't not like opera singing.
I felt like she was lured. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It
the
was
device
just-
was a really curious one. And let's go into that plot point. So, again, with the whole twisting time.
Yeah.
One thing I was really left wondering, beyond the terrible blonde wig of that woman,
Yes.
was why go back every Christmas to give her, 6 hours of happiness?
Yeah.
Instead of freeing her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It does seem a little cruel. When I watched it again, I thought, oh, I never thought about that. Why didn't they just let her out? Of course, she only had a few days to live.
Well, the thing is that, so the young Sarduk is letting her out for a couple of hours, but the dad is the one who owns those people.
Oh, so he can't.
So he can't just let her out, because otherwise the dad would be like, what the hell have you done?
Okay.
And he would take her back and put her back in.
Yeah.
So he's letting her out for a couple of hours every Christmas Eve.
Because she loves Christmas.
Because she loves Christmas.
He's
that's right.
complicit in her oppression. I get it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well,
He-
so is her family, because they offered her up for money.
Well,
Yeah.
she
They had
offered-
debts. They
Yes.
had to give her
Yes.
up. She offered herself.
and it
then,
seems like in this world, nobody pays off their debts. Nobody gets their family members back.
No.
opposite of the Lannisters, mate.
Yeah.
Can I just say, if my family needed to borrow some money, I would put my hand up to go into the icebox.
Oh, yeah. Have a good sleep.
Yeah, because you could wake up 200 years in the future and be like, all right, what's going on? This would be fantastic. It'd be like your own version of time travel.
Yeah.
I would literally just get the family to be like, okay, take out $1,000. Here's $1,000. I'll put it in the bank account. You can take out the interest as it comes along. But as soon as we have hoverboards, you pay off that debt. You get me out of that icebox, and we do this. Like, yes. And I wake up in the future and I meet my great-great-grandchildren, and I'm like, sick. Let's go on some hoverboards. And they're like, oh, Grandpa, you're so old.
How did you have children? Because you were in the thing.
All right, my nieces, great-nieces, and great-nephews.
everyone that you
How do
know.
I have children at the moment? I don't, and probably never will. Thank you very much for bringing that up, Nicchia.
Oh, God, I've got to go now.
I'm just going to go sit in the corner and sing to myself.
Oh no.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I think Bjork's better than that, but anyway.
Oh,
sorry,
Bjork is excellent.
Did you mention Bjork?
No. No, I wish I hadn't.
I feel like you have mentioned my name so many times
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
I've got to say that I love the singing. I
You
just
did.
feel like they could have done it a little bit better. And if I had done it, I would have gone, when you're alone, silence is all you.
Right. Right, Bjork. Well, you can go now. Thanks for that.
Wait, is the Bjork a shark subscriber? Does she like sharks?
So I will see you later.
You don't like
She's
sharks.
she likes the Greenland shark.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Iceland, so I hate the Greenland shark.
No, you,
They are enemies.
they're not. They're a
You get them.
delicacy. You're not the real Bjork.
Yeah.
Rip off the face.
Rip off the face. Rip off the face.
Oh, my God. It's Adam.
You've ripped off my face. There is more Bjork. There are layers of Bjork.
A Bjork?
Yes,
Fuck off.
that is the truest thing anyone has ever said to me. I will leave now. When you're
Good night. God, I
Oh,
wish I
God.
hadn't mentioned that.
Why does Bjork keep infesting our podcast?
I don't
So
know.
weird. So what were we talking about?
All right, we were talking about the problematic storyline.
Oh, yes.
Let's start from the very beginning.
All right.
I'm sorry, is this your podcast? Or?
I'm just trying to keep us on track, guys. Come on.
Simone's got a serious pants on.
The fact that I'm wearing pants shows how serious I am.
I know, I was really surprised. Thanks for that.
Well,
so-
it's Shark Week.
Yeah.
First scene is an unnamed spaceship starts falling towards an unknown planet. The crew do their best to save the ship, but it seems likely to crash.
What I did like was how they cost cut by using the same cheesy alarm sounds they were using in the 80s. I was like, are you for real? Is this a flashback? What's going on?
They also cost-cut by using the same costumes from previous episodes.
Yes, where these two are getting up to some shenanigans on their honeymoon.
So Amy and Rory are married, and they were basically... That was a sex joke.
Yeah, I didn't explain the honeymoon, didn't explain they were married.
Got that it was a sex joke because all the British people were like... And it was so dry.
We love British people.
So fucking dry. Like her vagina, no doubt. Like, why was she wearing a sexy cop outfit and he was, like, fully covered in some kind
Egyptian?
No, it was
Roman.
like Spartan. Yeah, Roman. Why can't he wear chaps? Arseless chaps.
That's another episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many episodes back do you have to watch to get to that point? Because I was like, oh, maybe I should watch the one
Just
before.
the season.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like for this episode, all you need to know is that these people are friends with the Doctor. He's coming to save them. As opposed to every spaceship that's crashing that doesn't have a friend of the Doctor on it.
Yeah, he just lets them crash.
I called Amy Laura Linney Light in my head. Because
yes.
I felt like that's what she was. She was like an off-brand Laura Linney, like Aldi version.
Yeah. Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Yeah, so she's in that.
Which one? The raccoon?
The blue lady, Nebula.
Oh, I
Shaved
would
head lady.
not have picked that.
Yep. She's Nebula, and she's also in the new Jumanji.
Oh, she's
the dance fighting.
Yeah.
I loved her.
She was great.
So great.
Wow, what happened
Dance
in Doctor
fighting.
Who?
Well, she didn't really have much of a part in this.
Yeah.
It really was just a lot of we're stuck on a crashing ship, get me off.
Yeah.
So it's very light on those two.
And they kept talking about her legs like they were her, like, genitals. Like, they were just like the
right,
tiniest portion of her legs. It was like the English, like, my stars. Oh, my legs.
Well, she showed her vagina earlier in the episode. Did you not see that?
I missed it.
Yeah.
Was that the cosmic anus that
Yeah.
the TARDIS was travelling down?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that the opening credits, the swirling clouds looked like the sea, but you think it's a cosmic anus.
It's a cosmic
Oh,
anus.
that's fantastic.
And now
Or a
we
birth
know
canal.
what Simone thinks about.
A birth canal that the TARDIS is being given birth to by the time vortex. I like that. That's quite good.
I'll go with it.
But yes, women are quite objectified in this scene.
Yeah,
in this
and
episode.
I never really realised
No,
that.
neither did I.
Why don't they just let her out, and why doesn't the doctor cure her? I mean, there's got to be a cure for it, right?
I've got to say that as far as illnesses go, sign me up for the illness that shows no ravages on your body
Yeah.
and just suddenly kills you with no warning. Like, you know.
It's called heroin. But, like, also the men were as equally one-dimensional, so they were very, like, equal-handed like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
that was good of them.
Yeah.
Again, I can't fault that. That's a shining light. Everyone was very, like, they had their one agenda, and they would not deviate and or grow.
But the main guy does. The baddie, he changes.
Does he?
That's the whole point.
Doesn't hit the child.
He doesn't hit the child, and then he
To be
realises.
fair, he didn't hit the child at the start either. We
Yeah.
really wanted to see him hit that child.
Yeah,
I did. Especially the little one that threw a rock. Fuck that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. He deserved to learn
Talk
a
shit,
lesson.
get hit.
That's our new catchphrase on the podcast.
Yeah, talk shit, get hit.
The surface of the planet resembles 1840s England, which is when A Christmas Carol was written.
Yes.
Steampunk Christmas.
Except they have electricity,
Steampunk.
and cameras and
And flying fish.
flying fish,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
As
we don't
know,
have that
the
yet.
1840s was full of flying fish.
So many.
We are introduced to Kazran Sardik, played by Sir Michael Gambon, after whom Gambon Corner is named.
I thought it was Geoffrey Rush, then Ian McKellen, then Michael Caine, and then finally I saw the credits and I was like, I have no fucking idea who this guy is.
Oh, really? I love him.
The whole way through
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's Geoffrey Rush. I was like, no.
I thought it was Jeffrey Rush as well. Or
Not
Sarah
Michael Caine.
McKellen.
No, not Ian McKellen.
no.
It's quite a coup to get someone like that on Doctor Who.
When you combine like a steampunk aesthetic with a Charles Dickens English literature reference and you froth over 20 centimetres of thigh, you've really found your fucking niche, haven't you? It's a super... And then to top it all off, and I literally couldn't even... This was less than 6 minutes in, and I'm like, I cannot watch this anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Puns.
Oh, yeah.
Puns.
You do hate puns.
Simone does not do puns.
No.
I know that.
I
know
love
that.
puns.
She's a little cool about the whole thing. I actually had to pinch myself and bleed a little.
So I'm not inviting you to my Let's Make a Pun podcast
Yeah.
that I'm going to start soon.
Good.
Yeah.
So you weren't a fan of that opening. You would say you were a little cool about the whole thing.
I've now...
Simone has left.
Yeah,
And she's walked out.
Can I just say
Yeah.
that I have never loved Simone more than I have in this very moment, and this is bringing us so close together, and I am just I'm like a proud husband just sitting back and just telling her, take it on over. Give it away there, Simone.
Yes, we expected you to have a good time, not to start marching in women's marches.
No, this is good. This is really good. We've never had this response to an episode before.
It was saved, though, by the absolute gender fluidity of Doctor Who. Why are his hands so camp? But his face is trying to be so masculine. He can't work it out, and I love it. I was on a journey.
And he has floppy hair, yeah.
He has floppy hair, and he's like, I'm a rakish Englishman. Maybe I like ladies. Probably not.
Instead of kissing someone, he went off to design his own sonic screwdriver, if you know what I mean.
They did try and make something up about him marrying Marilyn Monroe, but that was just a bit tragic, wasn't it? Like, get your coat. He didn't.
But he wasn't
running
into
away
it
from
until
her.
until like they kissed for a bit, and he's like, "All right, let's do this."
He's not very good with relationships.
No.
People kiss him and he's just confused.
I think
really.
he's asexual. I think he's gone full Tim Gunn. He's all about the gadget.
But that's
feel
why I
like
like him.
in that bit, if Frank Sinatra had proposed to him, he would have been like, "Oh, we need to get out of here." All right, let's do this.
Yeah,
he would have married Frank Sinatra or anybody.
He would have married anyone. He did marry Elizabeth I as well.
Oh, yeah.
In another incarnation.
Okay.
I think one of my criticisms of this Doctor Who, which is why I love Tom Baker and I do care about the Doctor Who franchise.
Because Tom Baker was so good towards women. Was he?
I don't remember that. I didn't.
No.
I think it was
he was.
more like there's a playfulness to Doctor Who, but there's also a gravitas because he's lived for so long.
Yeah.
He should have that kind of wise turtle eyes where, you know, you don't take anything too seriously because you know that we're just living in a moment and it's not really, it doesn't matter. I couldn't quite find the gravitas in this Doctor.
Oh, okay.
I felt like he was too silly and whimsical, but then trying to make us invest in the death of a spaceship. Like either you do care or you don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He was too Hugh Grant about the whole thing. Like,
Oh,
no.
really?
Yeah, just a bit faffy.
That's my favourite bit about the 11th Doctor.
Terribly sorry. I've come to save the ship. Wonder.
It's
sorry.
just, I can't invest when he's so, like, in and out about it, you know?
Mr. Michael Gambon, if I could just. Sorry.
Adam's trying a new accent.
Sorry. Hugh Grant here. Sorry about that. I'll just leave now.
I remember making a note that there was one point in here where I found his acting believable, which was then made me realise that I didn't believe the rest of it. I was like, shit, that was cool. Oh, the rest was terrible.
What moment was that? You can't remember.
When he was at the control panel, but when I find it, I'll bring it up.
The family of Abigail Pettigrew is begging for her to be let out for Christmas. Like a dog, basically.
Just let her out for one day.
The Sharkx family loans money and cryogenically freezes a family member as collateral.
But then they still lived in abject poverty when we went and saw them.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah, well, that's because they took it to the track and they were going to double it. They lost it.
Everyone's got shit family members. Why wouldn't you just freeze them? Unless maybe she was the shit one.
Yeah.
Well, I think
she only has 8 days
she
left.
volunteered because
Yeah.
she only had 8 days left to live.
Do you think Sharkx knew that she was sick?
No.
Oh, I'm not taking a sick one.
No, he wouldn't have.
But the thing would have said 8 days, and he'd be like, "What? 8 days? Are you freaking serious?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he just doesn't take any notice. There are a lot of frozen people down there.
If you had a family member who was dying, you'd just be like, "Oh yeah, she'll go in. Like we'll take $1,000." And then next Christmas, come back and be like, "Here's your $1,000. You get her back for a day." And then you're like, "Oh yeah, can we borrow $1,000?" She's gonna go back in, and then she lives like 20 years or something.
I like how it affirms the colonialist trope that beautiful blonde white women are the most precious resource we have.
Yeah.
As long as she sings like an opera singer with zero training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she is actually a well-known opera singer in Wales.
Oh.
What colour's her hair for reals?
Brownish.
Brown, I think. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So they made why they made a blonde is beyond me.
And also,
angelic.
Because Marilyn Monroe was in it, and gentlemen prefer blondes.
But they marry brunettes, I hear.
The president calls and asks Sharkx to use the cloud layer, which he controls, to help the ship land. Otherwise, over 4,000 people on board will die. Sharkx doesn't care, and I guess the crashing of a spaceship will be the event that fuels the inevitable revolution. Sorry, we just did an episode with Ain't It Rich, so we're a little bit political at the moment.
Yeah. The revolution.
but not even that. It's like just shitty script writing in that they haven't established the world well enough for us to invest in it. And then they're already making it more complicated. So we've got, you know, steampunk English Christmas, but it's another planet with like a cloud layer. But there's also some kind of president, and a president's an American concept. So it's not a queen or a king.
Yeah.
So I was really just kind of going like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
When are we going to get to the shark?
I agree. I I didn't care about people on the spaceship. I didn't care about the people
See,
dying.
we care because we're invested in Amy and Rory.
But even in the world that's being controlled there, like there wasn't any consistency thematically. I really struggle with that. Like the dissonance was greater than the explanation.
There's a lot of suspension of disbelief because, you know, from the title you go Christmas Carol, you go the concept's going to be a Christmas Carol. Okay, that's fine. They're expecting you to kind of like, oh, we're doing a Christmas Carol, but we're doing it in a Doctor Who way. So it's a planet that's 1840s England, and we need an Ebenezer Scrooge. So this guy's... So you
no one can see your air quotations, by the way.
I got all that, but then why a president? Why not a king or a queen?
Or a prime minister.
Oh, was it a prime minister, not a president?
No,
well, it could have been.
Yeah, it was a president.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what the...
Is this England? Yeah.
But it's a different planet, so they could have a prime minister or a president or a, you know...
Simone, so
Kaiser.
detail-orientated.
Yeah, I just, like, it stood out, and I was not paying attention.
You were just waiting for the shark.
I was just waiting for the shark.
And I did, when I suggested this episode, I did think, from what I remember, the shark isn't really in it all that much. And then I watched it, and there's a good, like, 20 minutes where the shark was in, and I was like, okay, I think that's enough shark for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of shark in it.
The Doctor deduces that Sharkx doesn't want to be like his father, so he continues his father's business, and he treats people like cattle just like his father. Also, I assume the Sharkx line will be dying out with Kazran.
If he doesn't like his father, why does he have a picture of his father up on his wall? What?
Fathers are very complicated.
But then he turned all the chairs, so it was too
Maybe the
complex for
father
me.
commissioned the piece. Well, no, it can't be, because later on when it turns into the woman. So
Yes.
he must have commissioned the piece.
Is it an English thing, maybe, to do with patriarchy and lineage?
Yeah, I think it's to do
controlling
with...
power.
Yeah, and you just have to have it up on the wall and look at him and hate him every day.
Yeah.
Oil paintings aren't cheap, too.
No, that's right.
They're rich, so they probably just buy them dime a dozen. Go down every corridor, there's a picture of Elliot Sharkx on every single wall. He's like, ugh. He goes, oh, we need to
Probably
stoke the fire.
busts
Oh, I don't know.
around.
Use that pile of pictures of my dad, I suppose. Just burn those. Who cares? And he doesn't have any kids.
No,
so
he
who's
doesn't.
going to control the cloud belt?
I think he's just going to drop dead and make sure nobody can control it.
So he dies a virgin.
Well, maybe not now.
No, with the girl.
Oh,
No, but he says he's never kissed someone. And that's the other thing at the end. They have one day left, and the two lovers are like, what should we do? We only have 24 hours left before you die. I know, what should we do? Let's go sleigh riding.
with a shark.
Yeah, with a shark. Let's
Yes.
do that before you die.
Let's have sex.
That's
what I'd be doing.
To be
Yeah.
fair,
Fine.
sleigh riding's probably a bit more exciting.
Ah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
shark sleigh riding does look pretty sick.
Yeah.
Whose side are you on?
I'm just saying, if I had to choose between boning that guy and riding a shark sled,
We have been invited onto this show to talk about sharks and how they should be.
And you will
looked
talk
after.
about boning Michael Gambon all we want.
Yeah, although he's a lot older than her by the time he lets her out. You know, I think
Yeah.
he waited a little too long. It's creepy now.
That was creepy to me as
Yeah.
well.
I've
It
got
really
the solution.
was.
What?
Okay, I know what the answer is because
What?
it troubled me as well. I was like, why is she so one-dimensional?
Yeah.
Why is no one worried about her? Why is no one trying to solve this? Because she's not really a person. She's an animatronic sex doll.
Ah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
what it is.
Yeah, she's a real doll.
So
And
you're,
the
you're saying the
technology's better.
family went, we want to borrow some money, but can we give you this family member?
Yeah, yeah.
And the father's like, yes, my favourite family member. Let's give her to them,
No,
shall
he's
we?
like ye olde cash converters. So, you know, you take in like your PC or your
yeah.
motorbike or your jewellery
And you get a sex doll.
or your sex toys.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they
I
are
like
worth a lot.
But you don't want a second-hand sex toy,
No.
do you?
No, but it's their most precious items. So, do you know what I mean? Like if you're going to leave something of value that you want people to come back for.
Oh, a sex toy.
Yeah.
That's why it's only got 8 days left to live, because his batteries are running out.
And
Told ya.
he got one that specialised in opera singing.
Yes. All coming together.
It all comes together now.
I know there was one that also did like banjo, but that one didn't sell as well.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants a sex doll that can rap. Get away from me with that tiny little dick.
Yeah,
Every time that I
that
see
sort
you,
of
yeah, it
stuff.
makes me feel sick.
I'm in the freezer. My pussy's real cold. I want to touch you. Your skin's real old.
Drop them up.
Yeah, 2 sex dolls just having a rap battle over a wrinkly old dude.
Once I realised that, I felt way less stressed about the plotline.
Oh, thank God
And
for
I was
that.
like, mate, do what you want with old friggin'
Abigail.
icy tits. Yeah.
The Doctor listens to A Christmas Carol, and that gives him an idea. He will imitate one of the greatest and best-known Christmas stories, Die Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, if only. That would be so much better than what we actually got.
He goes in and he
Yippee-ki-yay,
kicks Michael
motherfucker.
Gambon out a window. He's like,
We
"Ah."
did have a moment in the new series where we had a callback
Oh, yes.
to Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay,
Yippee-ki-yay.
robots.
Robots.
Which would work in this instance, because, you know, you think it's a sex robot.
Yeah. I like the Doctor who's exploring the world of sex
exactly,
robots, you know.
Well, he didn't explore shit.
Wow.
He just rocked up once a year.
Yeah.
Did nothing.
They went places though, didn't they? They went to like Egypt and they went overseas.
Yeah,
I love
lots
that
of
he could go
places.
anywhere in space and time, but they only exclusively ever go back to Earth.
Yeah.
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 They're in a different planet, and they don't have their own singers, they don't have their own performers, they don't have their own landmarks. They're like, do you want to go visit Earth? Hell yes. It's all anyone talks about on our planet.
And why did they only get one time that they go back and see her family? That made me feel really sad.
Yeah.
Well, that was her request.
Well, she had to request it.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Is
there
that why
any
she
alarm
went back
bells?
though?
Why?
She was looking for a charger. She's like, all I need is a recharge. No, bye-bye, no.
No.
They just
Hi,
they
I
locked
was
her.
wondering if you had my charger in here.
No, we lost it.
Bye.
Yeah.
You have 8 days left to live. Bye.
Yeah.
We've upgraded.
I feel like that's the idea of like the Doctor and Kazran were trying to impress her by showing her these big, amazing things, and she's like, I just want to go visit my family.
Yeah.
And it's like that when
Yeah.
you're like, you want to do this big, amazing thing. You know, I had a girlfriend once. That's but
Describe
He
it.
had a girlfriend once.
That's right.
Describe her, Adam.
She was from Canada. You guys wouldn't know her. But it was her birthday, so I went to the supermarket and I was going to make her this amazing dinner, and it took like 4 hours to make. And she's like, I just wanted to spend time with you. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck.
Instead of
You know.
what she sweat into our ragu.
Yes. Yeah. And then get cranky because nothing worked, and then you sit at the table
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
half
Yeah,
going, yeah, I hope you like it.
It's that
because
thing
it
of
took
like,
forever.
yeah, I want to
Yeah.
impress you, but, you know, in actual fact, just shut
Yeah.
up and
Arseless chaps.
ask us chaps.
Yes. Arseless chaps.
No, it's Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, although I'm not entirely sure why they didn't go with the Muppets version.
Oh, I did love the Muppet
I love the
version.
I don't know why they just didn't base it.
Kermit the Doctor here.
It's good, isn't it?
Wondering if you could help us get the spaceship down from the cloud belt. That'd be great.
Claire is beside
Oh
herself.
my God. Claire's falling off her chair here.
Why have you never done that voice before?
You have to describe it because Claire has not said anything for the last 20 minutes.
She is laughing like she's lost her voice and convulsing like she's been electrified.
And then she talks into the microphone as if it's going to bite her.
Yay! We saved Christmas. Yay!
You're on the wrong podcast.
I should be on the Muppet podcast. Cookies.
The Doctor plays an old video of Kazran Sardik when he was 12 and a half, hoping to see the skyfish. However, his father enters and slaps him across the face.
Ooh, yeah. Dad's not very nice, is he?
No, Dad's a prick.
Yeah.
Played by the same guy.
Yeah, I noticed that, but...
I know, because at first I was like, whoa, they got Jeffrey Rush and Michael Caine. Holy shit, what a score.
Michael Caine. Has Michael Caine ever been on the show?
No.
I mean, our podcast. Has he ever been on
Oh,
our
yeah,
podcast?
no, he's been on our
That'd be great.
podcast several times.
I'm actually sitting here wondering if I could do a Michael Caine.
Hello, Michael Caine here. No.
The note, when they played
work on
that
it.
movie, the note I wrote was home movie exposition.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
So you really enjoyed it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to jump to any conclusions here, but I don't think we got Simone back on board into the TARDIS.
I was like a fish on land. I flip-flopped between love and hate the whole episode.
Yeah.
What about when the Doctor introduces himself as the ghost of Christmas past?
Oh, man, I think there was a line, quantum unfolding and a paperclip. Lol. I was like, oh, this guy's done fucking improv. What a loser.
Well, to be fair, you went into Doctor Who at the start. This episode is not going to win you over.
No,
That's
this,
true.
this is not an episode I would give to a newbie.
This is
Yeah.
a fanboy, fangirl episode where you're like, oh, yes, everything that I love about the Doctor is here.
Great.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going because the shark's almost ready.
All right.
The Doctor mentions the bow ties are cool, and in the future, the old Kazran is now wearing a bow tie. So that's that whole, like, he's
Callback.
changing the past, and
Yeah.
but it's all happening in real time. you know?
Yeah, I actually like that. I like that you can see it happening in real time.
I like the playfulness with time in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm really big into time travel. So
Yeah, me too.
But it always dropped that giant question of, as a mechanic or as a device, that worked really well, until you ask the question, why is he not doing something more useful with this power? And then it all becomes a bit frustrating.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Usually he has the excuse of, like, oh, I can't go back into my own timeline. So usually he can't do what he's actually doing in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because they need it for this one episode, it's like nobody mentions that. It's a huge
but
paradox.
normally he can't go back. Like, he can't turn up somewhere and everyone's dying and then go back in time and fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to stay there and help.
Yeah.
Or if it's like
Okay.
Pompeii, where everyone dies, then he just goes, oh, it's a fixed point in time. And that's their excuse for, like, that's why I can't save everybody.
Yeah.
But then in other instances, he's like, he just turns up and he's like, let's save everybody.
Yeah. I mean, the rules are fluid.
Like his sexuality.
Yes.
Well, it's essentially not supposed to be a hard sci-fi where you're sitting nitpicking every... I mean, we do. That's why we've done this
we do.
podcast,
Come on, Adam.
but-
Did you hear yourself say that?
Yeah.
Normal people who watch the
The
show...
nerd said that.
Yeah. The Doctor finds a little fishy nibbling at his sonic screwdriver, but is soon chased away by a giant shark, which devours the sonic and goes after the Doctor. So you like the Jaws sort of...
The best part of the whole episode
Yes.
was the looking at the little fish with the lantern and then the shadow in the background. They could have just
fin.
looped that for an hour and I would have been happy.
Once I saw that, I just made myself a cup of tea and then
Did you like the bit where he goes outside the window and there's the shadow of the shark and then
Yes.
That's the best part.
That's the best
and then
part.
the music
The
goes
fin.
Didn't hear that
and
bit.
then goes
hear the
back
music.
into I think it's intentional. They play a little bit of the Jaws theme before
Yeah.
they go back into the music.
Yeah.
That was my favourite part as well.
Yeah.
The suspense.
The shadow and the concept going, oh, you fool, it's not the little fishies, it's a big fishy.
He hides in the cupboard, but the shark takes a run up and bursts through the door.
Yeah.
Metaphor.
Come out of the closet, Doctor Who.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Adam.
I love the Doctor's thing of like, it's only 2 goes and then it's your go. And he goes, because I've only got 2 arms.
That was good. No, I'll
There you
pay
go.
that. When he did that one, I was like, yep, that's good.
Yeah.
Are you a little bit disappointed that we didn't come back and he's only got 1 arm left?
Yeah,
Like,
that
it
would've
only
been-
took 1 go.
A bit.
So he retrieves half the sonic screwdriver and now the shark has been out of the cloud belt too long and is dying.
There was one line I quite liked, which were, and what do boys say in the face of danger?
Mummy.
I didn't mind that. I thought that was quite a nice little
Yeah.
twist.
When I watched the episode, I was like, I don't remember it being that boys will be boys sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then he goes, they cry mummy. And I was like, yeah, we do.
We've covered it before, but I just want to reiterate my extreme disappointment with the shark sounds.
Oh.
Okay.
It was grunty, it was growly, it was land-based. There was nothing aquatic.
No.
They didn't try.
No.
They didn't try.
You think they just slapped that together?
Yeah, they just went, oh, what's a scary sound?
And they
Yeah.
made the shark evil. He could have just been, looking for food. Why is he automatically...
But the boy
he's-
says that. The Doctor goes, he was trying to eat us. And he goes, he was hungry.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they
Yes.
said something very derogatory about his tiny
Oh,
shark,
no.
her tiny shark brain, without even knowing what
Oh.
the shark brain is like.
Exactly.
Exactly. Or sky sharks.
Sky sharks, I'm sure, went along the same evolutionary timeline, which
Absolutely.
is millions and billions. I'm not really a scientist.
Sharkologist.
Yeah.
The Doctor just turned up on the planet, so I don't think he knows about the well-known Sky Shark professor who studies...
Simone. Professor Simone.
Yeah, the Sky Shark professor. And your pet shark that helps you along your travels.
I would never tame a wild creature, let them be free. But yes.
When I say, I mean, like, you do your half of the speech and then the shark does his half of the speech.
Of his own free will.
Yeah.
He just...
Her, yeah, well, okay.
She follows you
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
in love.
I track her.
Yeah, in admiration.
Well, this bit has been very problematic.
Great, let's just cut it.
They need a life support system so the shark can be taken back in the TARDIS, and young Kazran takes the Doctor into the basement. But the door requires code, and the young Kazran doesn't know it. The old Kazran, remembering the incident, calls out the code, and the Doctor is there to hear it, having used the TARDIS.
See, he's starting to change.
Yes.
Before that, they're going to that section and the Doctor sees a Christmas tree and goes, oh, tree, in like some, whimsy of like, he's so distractible. And I hated the writer, Stephen Moffat, so much for that.
Oh, really?
I'm like, you've established his whimsy and his zaniness. Just let it go, you dickhead.
Oh, I thought it was because he mentions in the future, like, there's a Christmas tree in the picture, but you don't have a Christmas tree. So when he goes back, he's like, oh, there's the Christmas tree.
Yeah, because you didn't have a Christmas tree.
I know, but it's
in
just
the
that
present.
kind of like, it was the limp wrist and the kind of the prancing, and it was just like, focus, mate. I understand,
Yeah.
I get it, but just the writer was driving that too hard. The Doctor was doing the best he could with a bad script.
And at the bit where he goes, ooh, shiny, and just keeps pecking at a mirror, like, that was
Yeah,
unnecessary,
that was
I
the
think.
bit.
Yeah,
Thank you.
There
Yeah.
were some things in it that were. Now, I'm a Moffat fan, but I will
We've
say,
established that. I'm not a huge Moffat fan.
Yeah, there were some things. It reminded me a little bit of coupling. It was almost like a coupling Doctor Who crossover. I thought, but anyway.
In coupling, they'd see a pretty man or woman and go, ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
In the basement, young Kazran picks out the icebox of the woman from the future. It turns out he has a little crush on her because she likes the skyfish.
And she sings
can I
to
get
the
a
shark.
blonde with light skin, pretty vacant? Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll take her. Number 37, please.
Yeah.
Is her hair flammable? It looks it.
Actually, her whole outfit would just go off.
But I was thinking about her dress. She's wearing the same dress for like 7 days in a row.
Yeah.
Like they piece it out year over year, but for her, it's the same time every single, and it's not until the last day when she gets a new dress. She's wearing the same clothes, and they're like, oh, you fucking thong a bit.
Well, she's in ice most of the time. I don't think she does a lot of sweating.
But does she eat? Does she have bodily functions? Do they ever like open up the thing and she's like, out of the way, I really need to shit?
Yeah.
She just, they open the door and it's all like, hello, doctor. Like, she's so one-dimensional. We don't know anything about her. I miss my family. Why have you locked me in here? Like, nothing.
She has to suggest it. She's like, can I go visit my family? Well, I suppose. But afterwards, we're taking you to what we really want to do.
Yeah. Really angry.
They do treat her like an object, don't
Totally.
they? Like a play toy.
Totally. The whole time, like, we've got somewhere good for you to go. And she's like, I miss my family. I'm just dying. I want to change.
Well,
I just want to go to the toilet.
Yeah, take me out of this Wonder Bra. Like, it's just
That's
awful.
the thing. Like, if you could ever imagine the young Kazran being like, so what did you do over Christmas? Oh, I let out one of the servants who's in the icebox and we played with her for a while. I let her out sometimes, but only if she spends the day playing with me. Like, what? What do you... That would be the start of the revolution right there. They would storm the gates, stick his father's head on a spike, guillotine him. Like, it would be the end of the revolution just there and then. It was ridiculous.
That's an escape room that you don't want to be in, isn't it?
That is showing off your wealth right there. It's like, I let out my servants, but only if they play with me. Like, Jesus
once a year.
Christ.
Yeah,
They rub the lotion on their skin.
Yeah. They don't ever open it up and like, do whatever you want for this.
Yeah.
It's like they automatically presume that it has to be with them. No free choice.
They open
at
it up
all.
and they're like, do you want to play Monopoly? I want to see my family.
Yeah.
It's Monopoly this year.
Yeah. The other thing that I then took umbrage with, the whole mystification of girls, that boring trope of like, oh, what do I do? I like her, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I can't remember why the doctor called her a girl, because she's clearly a woman.
Well, because she's hooking up with the boy, basically.
Yeah.
Is it called grooming if you meet a boy like one day out of every year and then as soon as he hits 18 you're like, ooh, now I have feelings for you?
Well, it's reverse grooming, and then he puts her in a cape, which is like a big no-no.
Yeah. Really? You're not into the cape?
I like capes, but I just feel like everything, like, I don't know if I should kiss girls. I'll put her in a cape. Boing! Maybe put the Dungeons and Dragons down for a second, sweetie, and just
Sorry,
discover
do you have a
your
problem with
body.
Dungeons and Dragons?
I fucking love Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, all right,
and
all right.
I play with myself as much as I play Dungeons and Dragons, and that is the correct use of my time. Okay? You can't lean too heavily in one direction.
And the GM's just sitting there going, so,
Can you do this not at the table?
Simone, can you just stop that? We are literally trying to do a battle right now.
Yeah. I rolled a 10 for charisma, fuck you.
The shark chases them all about the place, and it is finally quietened down by the woman from the icebox, Abigail Pettigrew, whose singing resonates with the crystals in the perfect way to calm the fish.
I actually feel like it was dying of awkward, because that's
really?
the experience I was having in that
Really?
album. Yeah.
The doctor shows the young Kazran and Abigail the TARDIS, and they deliver the shark back to the cloud belt, experiencing the amazing view of fish.
I didn't like
You don't
it
like
because
it?
I didn't think they were looking after the shark or doing anything properly.
But didn't they save the shark
They
and
returned
let
the
it free?
shark to its...
They did, but then they, at the very end, they put it in the sleigh. So it's like, we'll keep you for now, and then when we want something, we'll bring you back. So it's like, you kind of had a favour. It's like, you're not really free. How long was he in the sleigh? Does that happen to happen every year? No.
But it's only those 2 instances.
Yeah.
That we know of.
And the rest of the time he's free,
Yeah, he's
having
free.
a lovely life.
She's free, yeah.
She's free. Sometimes Doctor Who should not be reviewed, but just enjoyed.
But it's a good thing we do this podcast then.
Yeah. I'm beginning to think second thoughts about this.
This will be our last episode. Bingo!
Do you know what you could do? Talk about more sharks.
Okay, let's get to Shark.
But the next time we talk about the shark is when he's hitched up to a sleigh, and I feel like you guys don't want to talk about that.
No, well, at this point, I was 19 minutes into the episode, and then I had 6% left on my phone battery. And I was like, I don't know which one I want to win.
And I think, maybe I'm wrong, at the end he was still grunting when he
Yes.
had the sleigh. So why did he still have all those noises? It didn't make sense.
You wanted
know?
him to have a bit of like, wee!
Maybe.
This is so
Well,
much
know what I
fun.
wanted by now,
I
yeah.
love that these people have hitched me up to a sleigh.
I'm doing this of my own free will. Like, no idea. Still grunting. It was very confusing.
I love that for us it was this beautiful moment if you were like, God damn it, why did they do this? Yeah. They should hitch up one of the people to that.
Yeah.
There was a line in here where I was just like, oh, I hate you so much, Stephen Moffat. That's the writer.
Do you mean the magic trick?
I hated that.
Yeah.
But also the
Yeah, I
sky.
didn't like the magic tricks.
Oh, really? I liked it. I liked the fact that he kept screwing it up. And he's like, you're doing it wrong. I thought it was sweet.
No,
Oh,
actually, I
really?
didn't mind that.
He's supposed to be good at magic tricks. He taught sleight of hand. The fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, taught sleight of hand.
Maybe
and
he was pretending the whole time. Maybe the kid finds it like 30 years later.
maybe
It was a bit
maybe.
too try-hard. Didn't like it.
I liked the family. I thought it was nice. I thought it was nice that they were all going to have their Christmas early because she was there.
It was just such heavy-handed, like, no, you can't even be here for Christmas. We're going to have Christmas tonight. It was like so heavy-handed.
But isn't it supposed to be heavily sentimental because it's based on A Christmas Carol, which is a heavily
I
sentimental
love the fact
book.
that they have this giant roast on the table, so which means that she spends another 3 hours of her life just waiting for this roast to be cooked. Like, you know I'm dying, right?
Yeah, can you put me back in the coal box still?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to do mashed potatoes as well? Good. No, I'll just wait. That's fine.
And maybe
It's
if you
midnight.
bitches went vegan, we wouldn't have to keep me in the freezer. Like,
Yeah.
ease off the roast, eat a few lentils,
Yeah.
get me out early, motherfuckers.
How poor were they if they could have like a whole big roast
Yeah, roasts
dinner?
are difficult for like normal families to
Exactly,
afford,
yeah.
let alone a poor family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what they did with the money.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
just
They
paid
bought a
for
cow
this fun-
and they
Yeah.
They made everything out of the Pete Evans cookbook.
everything.
God, how are they still alive?
They're all very hungry.
Let me tell you about paleo. Oh God, put me back in the icebox.
Yeah.
The world is different from what I last left it. One Christmas Eve, the group visits California in 1952, where the Doctor marries Mallory
See,
Monroe.
I love that.
No.
No.
No, I liked it. I think you're right. He would marry Frank. He would marry Dean.
Yeah.
He's just so weird and awkward that he would just go along with it.
It was too weird and awkward for me to
Oh,
be believable.
really?
You know, we couldn't see her. We couldn't see her chase after him. We just heard about it. He seemed to be too awkward about it. It was just a bit strange.
If there was a Doctor Who episode with Winston Churchill, for instance, would you be okay with that? Would you like that? Would you not like that?
Depends on what it was like.
What if he marries Winston Churchill?
If it was believable. I just didn't think it was believable. It was like, is he getting the coat? Does she have to go? Does he not have consent? You can just say no. Why does he have to marry her? It was just all, I just wanted to shake him.
Well,
Just
I think
shake him
too,
really
it just,
hard.
Once again, it just denigrated all of the female agency of like Marilyn Monroe. Well, she's such a beautiful, airless deadhead. She sees this doctor and decides to marry him on a whim. And
yeah.
she's so accessible and she's so clueless. Like anyone could have her at the right time.
True.
And I just was like, come on, dude.
I just think it's anyone could have the doctor at the right time.
But also
Yeah.
the doctor's like not an idiot. How did that conversation start? You know, he could have like waylaid it easily and been like, have a jelly bean. Would you like to try this womanizer? You know, like, he could have done anything.
This is what they have in the future. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't need to marry you, that's for sure.
that's for
Exactly. I think Marilyn would do a lot less marrying if she had a womanizer.
sure. Yeah. Although, you know, you're still trying to make an income. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't feeling any of that.
So it's one of my favourite parts of it. I love that. I love the kiss between the two of them. I love him with Frank and Marilyn. And yeah, but I mean, I love the 11th Doctor and I love that he's very whimsical. I think I have a thing for goofy guys.
Don't you think that maybe she has like Stockholm syndrome, that she doesn't know that she's been kidnapped and she thinks she's happy the whole time when really she's
Shawshank
yeah,
Redemption.
exactly.
No, she gets let out, and she's like,
Stockholm
"Oh my God, I'm so
syndrome.
happy that I'm out." You know, for this
Stockholm syndrome.
because she says when she's with her family, she's like, "He's not like his father," and it's
Stockholm
like we've
syndrome.
been watching the rest of the episode. He is exactly like his father.
Yeah, his father didn't thaw me before he did those horrible things to me.
Yeah. So we've got Stockholm Syndrome. We've got problematic marriages. We have
I thought it was a cute and whimsical fantasy.
non-consensual use of
grooming
sharks.
of small
Non-consensual
children.
use of sharks.
Yeah.
So anyway, they go through all of that, and just to solidify the point, the Ghost of Christmas Past hasn't done anything because Kazran gets the phone call and he goes, "As a very old friend of mine, took a very long time to explain, life isn't fair."
I really love it when they use dead women as plot lines. It's probably one of my favourite things.
I-
I'm like, if you want to
definitely.
motivate a man, you know what you should do? Kill a woman he loves. Oh, wait there. He'll probably do that himself, given a long enough timeline.
Right, well, thank you for joining All Men Are Bastards. We're back again with Simone and Claire and a token man.
Yeah, 1-800 respect.
I mean, you know, what am I going to do? I agree, all men are bastards.
Whereas sharks, you know where they stand.
That's true, they'll eat you.
You know, unfortunately, I think all sharks are bastards. But anyway,
Yeah.
The doctor's like, call me anytime, and he goes to get him out, and the doctor's there at the window looking so
Yes,
fucking
yeah.
smug.
Yeah.
He slams the curtain
Yeah.
shut, and I was like, correct response.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, not that desperate, bye.
Yeah.
I love that he goes to call the doctor, and then the doctor appears, and he's like, "You know what? People are cattle. I'm going to go back down and speak to my dad." And to the dad, he's just like, I'm going upstairs. And he goes upstairs, and then a couple of minutes later he comes down, he's like, yeah, all right, tell me about that machine. He's like, the fuck happened upstairs?
Yeah.
You must enjoy the next bit, because Amy appears as a hologram, the ghost of Christmas present.
And they just kept talking about her fucking legs.
Yeah.
Amy shows him a hologram of the people on the ship singing a Christmas carol, but no one has the heart to tell them that they're gonna die.
Yeah.
It just made me miss Westworld.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Well, just all of their animatronic people are just sort of there lined up, and it looked a bit like that. And it was a better show.
My heart just broke.
I thought it was a bit too pull on the heartstrings. It didn't do it for me. I was like,
Oh, the Doctor Who episode or Westworld?
no, when they're all singing. It was a bit too try hard.
Yeah.
It's just the wrong song. Imagine the wrong song. Imagine if they're all singing my neck, my back, lick my pussy and
my back.
my
I'm
leg.
like, save those people.
Why are they all singing? Because it's a banging tune.
Yeah. Shorty got low, 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 low.
Yeah, maybe some dance moves. There was no synchronized dance
X will
moves.
give it to you.
Maybe an Irish dancing move. Maybe I would have been into that.
Oh, that
Maybe some-
Braveheart song.
Yes.
With your arms really.
Yeah.
I hate that dance.
They show the hologram of the people and they're just singing Doctor Who. Hey!
Doctor Who, Doctor Who. Hey! Another shining light was when they played the theme music at the very start when they went through the cosmic birth canal. So happy. I love that song.
I do too.
Oh,
I love that.
you love
music.
that song.
Have you ever heard the theme song of Doctor Who before?
No.
Really? Not even when you listen to this podcast?
Well, I listened to your song. I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
it's based on.
Okay. I like your version better. You know I
thank
do.
you very much.
Yeah,
the only
I'm
one
trying
she's
to
heard.
learn it off by heart.
The Doctor finds out that Abigail is dying and that's
Yeah.
why he's still a bastard. Then he says that he is the ghost of Christmas future. I really love this bit. Because then Kazran goes crazy.
Yep.
And he goes, show me the future, I don't care. And he's like, it's not your future, I'm showing you.
Yeah.
And it's the little boy and it's like, ah!
I love that
I
because
love
I
it.
thought I didn't realise that.
I forgot.
That's how
I forgot.
Yeah.
And I thought again that he was going to take him, like in A Christmas Carol, he
Yeah.
takes him to the future and he goes, you're going to die alone. And,
Yeah.
and Ebenezer Scrooge goes, oh my God. Young Kazran calls the old Kazran dad, and that's when he loses it. I'm not
Yeah.
my dad.
I don't even look like him.
Except I was him.
And using the same actor, Ian McKellen.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
It was Jeffrey Rush, wasn't it?
Like Michael Caine.
And then he goes to give his younger self a hug. In Mordred Undead, a
Yeah.
young and an older Brigadier Laithwood Stewart touch, causing a wave of energy to be released.
Yes, and Rose touches the baby Rose in Father's
that's
Day,
right, yeah.
and the Doctor gets eaten. So, yeah,
There are times where there are little callbacks to things that have happened, and there are other times where we're like, screw it, we'll just do what we want.
pretty much.
So now Kazran is ready to help the spaceship.
Yeah.
But he's locked out of the controls.
Yeah, because he's changed so much.
Which
so
means
they
he
don't
will
work.
never be able to control the cloud belt ever again.
No,
So
it's all over.
That's it.
They all die.
Yeah, apparently.
Amy and Rory die.
No, instead they use the two parts of the sonic screwdriver to transmit a signal that will resonate with the ice crystals. They need some singing. So what do? They transmit the singing of 4,000 passengers on the ship into the cloud belt and it saves them all.
Because their
Yeah.
song was shit.
No, of course, that wouldn't be very emotional, would it? Instead, we have a classic example of Chekhov's Abigail, where you show her singing in Act 1, so now you have to have her come back and sing.
Yeah.
I like
Yes.
that reference. I was thinking there were a lot of sloppy script writing, but they stuck to the format with that one.
Yeah.
Well done.
I didn't like it because she used her last day to help them, not for herself.
Well, that's
not for
the
her.
whole point of the third act. He's like, how can I choose what day is her last? And, well, the choice has been made for you. If you let her out, she will save 4,000 people.
And she's a very lovely, giving lady. She doesn't.
Because she's a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the doctor does say, well,
She's not
look,
selfish.
if you let her out, when she powers down, I'll either just get you another one or I'll get a charger for her, mate. Like,
That's why. And the
I didn't
way,
hear that conversation.
the way you know that she's not a real person is because when they open it up and he's suddenly old and she doesn't even flinch.
Yeah.
That old face. She just was like, hey, bro. And like, I see people that I went to school with like from 5 years ago and I'm like, what the fuck happened to you?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realised it's happened to me too.
Well, they don't say it, but I feel like, you can see in her face that she's like thrown up a little bit in the back of her
I
neck.
know, but
Yeah.
she genuinely, no, she doesn't even bat an eyelid. That's how you know.
Because I got to say, I'd be creeped out
Yeah.
by that.
So
I'd
creeped
say,
out,
why
yeah.
couldn't you have opened the door when you were 24?
And he looks exactly like his dad.
Yeah.
Imagine if the dad had have opened it and she's like, you waited a little bit too long, didn't you? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm Elliot Sardick. Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought you were the kid. Oh.
But I realise that is the next gen business model for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You freeze your hot trophy wife.
Ah.
Yeah, so you just keep her looking fresh. She doesn't bat an eyelid when she comes out because the brain's atrophied. feed.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that's
so
a good
you
idea.
just keep aging, and she's just like, yeah, hey, hey,
Jesus.
sugar daddy.
But I think that's a very good idea because then they wouldn't go through so many of them. You know,
sure.
if you think about it. So
Yeah.
you just have the one.
And you don't have to pay for all the divorces and everything.
Yeah,
or
and then she gets a bit of a rest too because
Or the family takes their hottest daughter, freezes them, and then waits for like people to bid on them. So like you want to date,
because
you
that's
wanna,
not creepy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. You guys just talked about freezing your trophy wife.
He's got a point. I think we should go back to the main issue, and that is, as always, why did they animate the shark's tail so badly?
Oh, so
Oh,
badly.
really?
Yeah, the action on that shark, it was just like, meh, 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 meh. I've seen wind-up toys with a smoother action. It was just so, it was a rudder. I'm like, that is not how a
terrible.
shark moves.
Maybe that's how a sky shark moves.
No, I
No.
will not accept.
I love that we spent this entire episode being like, women are portrayed so badly, and you're like, oh, and the worst thing is the way that CGI of that shark was. Oh my god.
I'm
Yeah.
used to the fuck treatment of women, okay? But I expect more of my shark representation. It's the last bastion I have.
And if they didn't want it to be a shark, why did they call it a shark? Why didn't they call it like sky creature? But they called it a shark,
shark.
so you have to keep the reference out.
Stay true.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
All
so
right.
I agreed with that. It was ridiculous.
Look, maybe they didn't have a sharkologist like you there
Thank
to
you.
help them. And
Actually, so true, because they had Vanessa, what's her name, the cool chick, helping Peter Benchley
and Jaws.
Yeah, on Jaws,
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg. So if you didn't,
and so you know they didn't have a sharkologist, and they're not that common, are they?
No.
You know,
Well,
you
that's
are
true.
one of
That's
you
true.
are one of the only in the world that I know.
that's true.
And you were busy. I mean, you know, you had
Well,
the
they didn't
kids.
ask
They
us.
didn't ask us.
Oh, really?
Oh no, they didn't ask you guys.
They probably didn't know about you because your podcast wasn't on then.
They can time travel when it suits them, but not when they need expert opinions.
yeah.
Then we have a tearful reunion, and the beautiful singing comes over the airwaves. Abigail is singing. She's literally singing her life away.
I don't know if I would be quite so generous with
No.
the limited amount of time I had.
So we don't know if there's like a gun to the back of her head.
Yeah.
We don't know. We haven't seen her. We're like, okay, I'll sing. I want to say goodbye to my family. No, okay, I'll sing. Like,
Sing,
just
bitch.
so unrealistic. You're like,
I would
tears.
love to hear that phone conversation afterwards, like, oh, hello, is this the Pettigrew family? Look, you know how you begged for your sister to come out for Christmas? Well, good news, your debt's been cancelled. Bad news, your sister is dead. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, but she went out singing.
Yeah, did you hear the singing? That was her, basically. Oh,
Actually, she went out riding a shark sleigh
Yeah.
with a really old, creepy man.
And it was really small. Did you
Yeah.
notice how small it was? And had to be like really smushed up together,
And they had to
making it
fit
uncomfortable.
him, her, and those breasts
Yeah.
all on the one sleigh.
we have them going on the sleigh, and we have Amy and Rory are happy, and they're going to get taken to a actual honeymoon. Marilyn Monroe rings up and is like, where's my hubby?
Yeah, no, I liked heaps of it. What I really appreciated, because when you first said, look, this is the episode we're covering, watch it beforehand, I was like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. Don't tell me what to do. I don't have that kind of time. And then I thought, no, don't be like that. You respect and love these people, and you should help them because they're helping you.
Yes.
So then I did watch it, and I took it very seriously. I made lots of notes.
She did.
Yes.
And I didn't treat it as something that I would like or not like. I treated it as a critical analysis of a piece of art that we were then going to deconstruct and interrogate.
Yes.
And in that it was successful.
Yes.
We thank you for going through and coming and talking about it, even though it was problematic for you.
That's my favourite. Do you know what I hate? Shit I agree with.
Yeah.
It's boring, and I have nothing to comment.
I mean, that's why we gave you the episode, because we knew
Thank
you'd
you.
hate it.
Oh, yeah. The objectification, the shark,
Yeah.
you know,
I
crap.
remember watching it being like, oh, Simone's going to hate the shit out of this.
Yeah, let's pick that one.
Look, I'm usually the organised one and write notes, and Simone has really just excelled this time, and I'm
So
really...
you're feeling a bit out of sorts, are you?
I am a little bit. I watched it. I didn't understand maybe 89% of it, so I just watched it for the Sharks, and I'm here today. Thanks very much.
I love that your comment on the episode is just like, oh, my friend did a really good job of writing notes about the episode.
As in, like, usually it's me. And I specifically asked, should I write notes? Will there be a questionnaire? Will there be a quiz? And you said no. So I just sat back and...
Now, I did tell you there'd be 15 long answer questions, didn't I? Yeah.
Okay, so
like a
question
law,
one.
or like a happy face. Okay.
What was the name of the bad guy?
Kirsten, Curlston. Shit, Kazran.
Hey!
Just edit.
Amazing. I was going to say Michael Caine, McKellen.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush.
There's sweat all underneath my
It gets a little bit hot in
Really?
here.
Are we making you nervous?
All right, as we like to do, we like to give the episode a score 1 out of 5. I feel like for you guys, we need to have a score for the episode and then a score for the depiction of the shark.
Great. Okay, I'm going to give the episode a 2.
2? Ooh. I feel like you were hovering between 1 and 2, is that correct?
But I want to give the shark a 1.
Oh, okay.
The shark gets a 1 because it had a good use of fog shark silhouette, and then everything from that point
It was rubbish.
the sound,
Yeah.
the action on the fin, the depiction of teeth and gums, the reference to its small brain.
But why did you like the episode more than the depiction of the shark?
Because the depiction of the shark was comprehensively disappointing because I had
Okay.
expectations. I expected nothing of the episode and it delivered.
That's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
And they did deliver. Oh, I remember the point at which I thought the doctor actually
some good acting.
convincing acting. I think he said, "I've changed too much
Yeah.
to use something."
Yeah, and he couldn't use the controls.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was good. I remember that was a moment I was like, wow, that was really compelling. And like he seemed invested in the use of said technology and then disappointed by the lack of functionality. And I think the
So
irreverence.
like every iPhone user.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so there were lots of little elements in there that I'd be like, oh yeah, that was all right. No, I didn't mind that.
Wow, I think Simone has covered everything. I have nothing else
Are you
to
going to give it
add.
the same score?
I would have to say for the depiction of sharks, I'm going to go a bit harsher and maybe can I go minus figures?
Sure, yeah.
Minus 10.
Minus 10.
Minus
Wow.
10.
And what about for the episode? What do you give the episode as a
I'll give
whole?
the episode like a solid 3 out of 10.
Oh, there you go.
Because I think the past, present, I really liked the depiction of the child seeing his old,
Yeah.
the older
Yeah.
self.
Yeah.
That was the thing that turned around for me and made him change.
Yeah.
I suppose I liked some of the storyline about the giving the people that were frozen and the concept of that. And
So the bits you understood.
the bits you understand. And then one is just for luck. There we go.
Fantastic.
Gonna sign it off with her.
Nicchia?
Well, this is one of my favourite Christmas specials.
So a 1.
Yeah, but it is interesting that when I watch an episode for entertainment, I really either enjoy it or don't. But then I go back and rewatch it as a critic. It's always tougher. So to sit down, I've watched this so many times, to sit down and watch it as a critic, you do start to pick out things that you hadn't really thought of before because you just go along for the ride. So look, I'm not a big fan of Christmas specials at sometimes, so I'm giving it a 3.5.
3.5. Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, because after watching it as a reviewer, it's different. If I give you a score as Nicchia had a great time, it's a 5. But yeah, as a critic, 3.5.
Okay, so you liked The Woman Who Fell to Earth better than this?
Yeah, and I never thought I'd say that because I love Matt Smith. But it's watching it the second time and thinking, why don't they cure this woman, was bugging me the whole time. And I never considered it before.
And my time, it's interesting that you say that because
What's yours?
going back and watching it again, it was actually quite difficult for me to try and find things to pick out of it. I don't have those issues, but then obviously I'm a man, so
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem.
No.
But yeah, I give it a 5.
Oh.
It is, actually watching it again, it is one of my favourite episodes of Doctor Who.
I'm going to fight you.
Really?
I'm sorry, it is, and I love it. I think it's so emotional and, but I love the story of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
do
probably
too.
my favourite Christmas themed. I'm not a
Yeah.
huge Christmas person, but it's probably an idea of, changing someone from being an evil bastard to, and I was more focused on Michael Gambon's character
And his
Kazan
journey.
Sidek,
Yeah.
then, and to me, everybody else in that was just kind of
Feeding his story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's problematic, with the depiction of women, but then for me, it's problematic. Everybody's depiction is just two-dimensional because they're all trying to help Kazan Sidek.
Yeah, that's
it's,
true.
It's a 5 from me.
And look, if you'd asked me a week ago when I wasn't watching it as a critic, I would have said 5. And it's when you sit down and go, hang on, this woman is being effectively
I
held
get that now.
hostage.
Exactly.
And maybe when I watch it again, but I still love the story.
Oh, yeah.
Did anyone cry watching this?
Yes.
I haven't
Did
cried
you guys?
in 10 years.
Did you guys cry?
No. Oh.
Yeah, first time I watched it, I cried. This time I didn't because I was still obsessed with the fact that they wouldn't cure this woman.
Exactly. I agree with you.
But that's because I was looking at it with different eyes. But when I just watch it as a 10-year-old fan of Doctor Who, 10-year-old Nicchia, cried like a baby.
Well, I have to tell you
Loved the
as a man. So I have to tell you as a man, I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second time, when I watched it again the second time.
Hysterically with no reason.
And I shit myself. It was so weird. I've done that in like a week or so.
Yeah, mate, it's too real.
Even the second time I watched it, where I watched it piece by piece to write this thing, I still got a little bit choked up when she starts singing. To me, it is so beautiful.
I think her voice is beautiful. I have to disagree. I love her
I
singing.
think her voice is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just shit.
And I was so invested in these characters. Like, for me, this is Stephen Moffat at his best. This is the type of episode, if you had shown me this episode and been like, Stephen Moffat's taking over as the showrunner, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Really? You don't think Blink is him at his best?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel like I can hate Stephen Moffat and his run on the show, but then look at this an episode like this and be like, wow, it is a perfect episode of Doctor Who.
I like his writing, and so you don't like the puns and things like that, but I love the little in-jokes.
Me too.
I
Me
love
too.
the whimsical Doctor. He's definitely my favourite. And I always found Tom Baker really whimsical, I guess, would be why.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what my problem is, but I mean, that's really a question for my whole life. Stephen Moffat does not hit me as a writer at all. Just because of all the reasons covered.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Sloppy
understand
device
that. Yep.
usage, overuse of puns.
Too sentimental.
Too
many stories that
and
are
like
not...
the device wasn't even employed effectively. Like they kind of flip-flopped as they needed it and then didn't need it. But that said, I really love that you're defending it and that you enjoy it, because it just goes to show that art is for everyone.
Yeah. And I love the fact that we've got so many different ideas, because usually it's just Nicchia and I agreeing on...
Yeah.
I thought for sure you were going to give it a 5.
Well, I did too. In fact, I thought to myself, I don't need to watch it. I've watched it that many times.
Literally, I feel like if we had a list of top 10 Doctor Who episodes, this would be in the bottom half, but it would be on that list, I think.
Yeah, well, at 3.5, I wanted to give it 4, but holding a woman captive.
True,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I felt the most grief probably about 6 minutes in, when I realised there was another 54 minutes to go.
Yeah. Whenever we have our guests here, we ask them to come up with their Time Lord name. The Doctor is because it's do no harm, always be there to help, never cruel, never cowardly. So it's reminding them who they want to be as a person.
I'd like to be able to write my own scripts.
Yeah. That's a great title.
The scriptwriter, the showrunner.
Not that kind of script, baby.
I know what you should be.
I was going to say, let's name each other, because I can name you.
All right, name each other.
Okay.
Okay, you go first, Claire.
I'm going to officially today name Simone as the Minister of the Fisheries.
Oh, yes.
Minister of Fisheries.
Yeah, I'll take it. I love it. Claire, you just be the shark.
The shark.
Shark. That's all you need to be, just the shark.
People might think that then you're Greg Norman.
I don't know who
Yeah.
he is.
The golfer.
Yeah.
No one in our circles would think that.
Oh, good.
Be
Well,
on a
you'd
planet
right.
with Kazra and Sardik and be like, this is the shark.
What, Greg Norman?
Yeah.
And then
It's Greg Norman here.
Does that mean I can buy people at will?
absolutely.
I love that you would be like, so I'm going to go back in time and change it. What is going on with this shark? Are you serious? This doesn't even look like a proper shark. Seriously.
I think you'd be a great Doctor as the shark, because your code would be top of the food chain, clearing out the crud, misunderstood, billions of years of evolution.
You look like you're surprised, as if this is the first time you've heard you misunderstood.
Well, I don't know. I'm just still very happy
Not
with my
very
name.
bright.
Not very bright.
Small atrophy
I will
brain.
think of all these beautiful answers maybe in about 10 hours from now.
true.
Yeah.
That's probably about
All
right.
Yeah.
We can't get back together again to podcast.
Ever again.
We'll text you.
And I think that Simone, as the Minister of the Fisheries, is exactly who she should be. In charge, informed, opinionated.
Making shit up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, you could be a good doctor then. He makes shit up all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all he does.
And a good minister, because they make shit up all the time.
Yeah.
All right, that's our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Please be sure to check out the wonderfully silly Sharkx podcast available.
I think you meant to say very informative and accurate.
Exactly. That's exactly
The
what I used to say.
scientific-based sharks.
With the two greatest sharkologists on the planet.
Yeah, the only two, really.
And by the planet, I mean Kazra and Sardik's planet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us
That's
on.
okay.
I really enjoyed
Available
it. Thank
on
you.
iTunes.
Spotify, and on my website, and when I fix fix it. SimoneClaire.com.
You can check out Claire at Big Fork. She's sometimes performing at Big Fork.
Yeah.
You're an improviser.
Yeah, you're an improviser.
What I like the most about Claire is I wish we had a video of the faces she pulls when she's, every time you ask her a question, she looks like, oh my God, oh my God, what am I doing here?
I'm really nervous.
And every time someone talks about you, you're just like, what? I didn't know that about myself.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. It's over.
You have your own podcast. This is why you don't have guests on your podcast, because you are terrified.
Yeah.
And also because we don't want to have to censor ourselves.
Look at my hands. They're shaking and sweaty.
Oh, gosh.
They're true. They are sweet. She's moist.
Probably shouldn't have given her the cocaine beforehand.
Nicchia, any plugs?
No, just as always, all in. And I'm on Good Chat in March, but I'll talk about that when we get a bit closer.
As always, you can follow Adam O'Sullivan, comedian, on Facebook, and you can also follow Nicchia Shutface, comedian.
Nicchia Shut Comedy.
Did you about to call it Nicchia Shutface?
I was going to say Nicchia Shut on Facebook, but then I realised it was Nicchia Shut Comedy, and then I went to say Nicchia. Anyway.
Yeah, Nicchia Shit. He wouldn't be the first.
I just remembered I am on Instagram and Facebook, so...
Oh, good.
Yeah, if anyone wants to,
Simone Claire. Yeah.
What about you, Claire?
Big Fork and Impro Mafia.
Or visit thenerdinfinite.com. D4WH is on Facebook. Give our page a like for updates.
Don't forget to rate and review.
Yes, rate and review our podcast and send us your best story based around your Doctor Who fandom.
Yes, please. We need some stories. People are starting to talk to us on our Facebook, which is fantastic, but we want more engagement. We want to talk to everybody.
Definitely.
And Charles was very excited to get a call out on our last podcast.
Yeah, provide us with some information and give us a good story, and we'll definitely call you out as well.
Absolutely. And being Tim has his ringtone is the theme song.
Yes.
I want that.
He's in the US.
Do that to me.
Yeah, no, it's available on our website. We only did a post about it, but that's fine.
Yeah. Perhaps you could follow us occasionally.
I like it.
No, don't encourage them. Look, if it was good, we'd find it.
Rate and review us on iTunes, recommend us on Facebook, and follow us on Podbean, and we are also now available on Spotify. Get the word out. You might be out swimming at the beach listening to music on your headphones. Suddenly you get a tingling sensation as if you're being watched, but not by someone. Something. You turn around and you see it. You try to escape, swimming for your life, but it gets closer, moving faster than you can. You open your mouth to scream, but it's too late. The latest episode of D4WH has already downloaded to your phone and begins playing. You go back to splashing around in the water as you listen, a smile on your face. Until next time, keep searching the skies for the Doctor.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of The Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?